my name is Rachel and today we're talking about Legendary by Stephanie Garber, which is book 2 in the Caraval series. Help me! Before I start, I want to quickly shout out Carrie Can Read because Carrie Can Read talked about my channel and how she doesn't watch the videos I do on Stephanie Garber's books because she likes the books. And I just want to say, more of that please. If people cannot handle listening to their favorites get trashed, then maybe don't watch. I'll link Carrie's channel in the comments, she's really sweet. So I'm back talking about Caraval, Help Me. Today we're discussing the sequel, book 2 in the trilogy. It's Caraval, Legendary, and then Finale. Funny enough, I used to own this book. I used to own books 1 and 2. I originally was so excited when I heard about Caraval and I couldn't wait to read this series. And then I did, and I didn't like it. So I thought, okay, maybe I did it wrong. So I heard that the sequel was better and I ran to Barnes & Noble. At the time, Barnes & Noble was 45 minutes from my house. It was a long run in my car. And I didn't want to wait to order it through thrift books, so I ran to Barnes & Noble, I got the sequel, and I started reading it at Barnes & Noble, and immediately I was like, this was a mistake, wasn't it? I was desperately hoping that the sequel would like retroactively make me like Caraval. Instead, I hated it just as much, which is frustrating me even years later. I just reread this book, Legendary, on my birthday a couple weeks ago to try to like remind myself exactly what I had issues with. I had a very clear picture in my mind about what I did not like about Caraval, but Legendary was a little fuzzy. I only remembered a couple things that did not make sense, and that's all I could remember. Turns out that's really all I needed to know. I want to like this series so bad because I have major FOMO, feeling of missing out, for those of you who are not in the know, hip with the lingo. God, I'm so old. I want to feel what everybody else feels while reading this, and instead I find myself frustrated because I feel lied to while reading it because of all the retconning. It's not fun when an author 2 books in a row relies on sending you on a wild goose chase and calls it delivering twists. In certain ways, this was almost worse than Caraval as far as that went. But regardless, everything that happens is utterly pointless, and by the end, it has culminated in a story that just leaves me feeling exhausted, and I don't want to have an exhaustive reading experience. Speaking of exhaustion, I want to tell y'all about something. It is no secret to anyone here that I drink a lot of energy drinks and coffee, particularly energy drinks, throughout the day, and I start my day by drinking coffee instead of eating breakfast. Recently, if you don't know, I have rosacea and I've been going to the dermatologist. We're starting to get it under control. I was feeling like I had been in a perpetual flare for years, and it's starting to get under control, and we're figuring out what exactly triggers flares as far as food, and it unfortunately seems to be the case that coffee is making me flare every morning. So I had to find a substitute for my mornings. So the folks at Magic Mind reached out. They wanted me to try their product and share my experience with y'all. Magic Mind is this cute little energy shot that is matcha based and uses nootropics to give you a natural energy and productivity boost. So here's my review and experience drinking these in the mornings. It's in shot form, so if you've ever taken a ginger shot, it's sort of like that initially. When you initially drink it, it has the texture of like any other energy shot. It's pretty like smooth, flat water. Taste wise, it is not as spicy as ginger, but it's got some sort of kick in the middle of like the spice of ginger and the tartness of a green apple, and it smells like apple. So it's some sort of kick when you initially drink it the first 3 seconds, which might be the matcha itself, which matcha can be a little bit bitter. But oddly, that goes away after 3 seconds, and you're left with this really subtly sweet aftertaste that tastes like something akin to a coconut, but not coconut. It's really understated sweetness on the back end. I can't really place any of the flavors in this, but I do like that subtle sweetness at the end, whatever it is. Taking it as a shot is fine and it's really easy, but I found that my favorite way to consume this is by mixing it into a smoothie in the morning to encourage me to stop drinking just coffee for breakfast. I put it in a smoothie with mango, pineapple, orange, and yogurt, and that's perfect. That's been the way to go for me. It comes in this cute box, which has made it easy to just store it in the fridge. Does it work? I would say it does work for me in the morning, which is the only time of day I've tried it. I've been using it in the morning, and I've been able to drink it in a smoothie instead of having just coffee for breakfast. And I'm getting my work done in the morning without having a rosacea flare, and I'm not having a caffeine crash. Caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It blocks these neuroreceptors in your brain that tell you you're tired, and when the receptors unblock, a few hours later you experience a crash. Matcha, which is what this is based on, has L-theanine in it, which prevents the full blocking of receptors, so you have like sustainable energy and you don't crash later. which has been my experience with it. I really don't like the caffeine crash, particularly around 2 p.m. is when it hits, and that's frustrating. So if you, like me, are trying to find a new morning energy boost without having a rosacea flare, you might want to try this little shot that'll help you focus. And you can do that by going to magicmind.com/RachelR and use my code RachelR20 to get up to 56% off your first subscription for the next 10 days. Magic Mind also offers 60-day money-back guarantee. If anybody doesn't like it, they refund them 100%, no questions asked. So to check out Magic Mind, click the link in the description or in the pinned comment down below. And again, make sure you use my code RachelR20 to get that discount. And thank you to Magic Mind for sponsoring today's video. Okay, let me tell you about the Wild Goose Chase that is legendary by Stephanie Garber. Oh my god, I was listening to the audio just fuming. Everything that happens is utterly pointless. By the end, I wanted to reach into this book and punch each of these characters in the face individually. I'm going to use art. I know in my Cruel Prince video is a little hard to follow who's who if you haven't read it, so I'm going to use art so that the visual learners will stay with me and know who is who. Okay? I got you, visual learners. I am one of you. I know the struggle. This picks up directly after the end of the last book where Scarlet and Tella won Caraval. Did they really? Who knows? It's anybody's guess, really. In the last book, wherein we experience the world's worst sister, Donatella Dragna, set up this elaborate yet incredibly stupid plan that ended in her suicide, which she knew would get retconned because of the magic of Caraval, and did all of that, including the suicide, in order to manipulate her own sister, Scarlet, the main character, into cutting off their father forever because he is evil.
Everybody's so creative.
Julian, who helped Donatella manipulate her sister this way, is now her sister's boyfriend, even though they've known each other for what I assume is 5 days. Literally 5. Maximum. This book's main character is Donatella, who is different from Scarlet, but no better. Donatella is written, there are these paragraphs where you're like told that Donatella is supposed to be like the sassy one, but she's supposed to be the girl boss, and instead she's just really stupid and a little sarcastic, whereas Scarlet is really stupid and not sarcastic. Great! Garber recycles many of the same things that she used in the last book, a lot of which are really lazy writing and terrible. So not only is the main character stupid, but there's constant descriptions of dresses, which she uses these dresses to try to fill in plot holes that she made for herself. But the dresses are not filling the holes. Should I be saying filling the holes? Probably not. But we also added a bunch of new shit that was not set up in the last book. For instance, the Fates, which are essentially gods, and a deck of cards, which is like a tarot deck, and there's a deck based on the Fates, which the Fates get trapped in, or got trapped in. Tella has one of the cards because of her and Scarlet's mother. The Oracle, not Oracle, Oracle with an A.
Everybody's so creative.
The Oracle has been predicting the future by the picture it displays on the card. Did we know any of this in the last book? No, it did not exist. You find out the context you need for this at the very beginning, where Tella has a memory of her mother having this deck of cards and her mom being like, "This is dangerous." You're also told that Tella has been corresponding with a guy who refers to himself as her friend, Mr. Mysterious Man, who's been helping her out and got Scarlet into Caraval for a price that Tella has to pay. So the morning after the end of Caraval, the last book, the morning after, Tella wakes up in the forest next to Dante, who they've been flirting and making out, okay? He was in the last book, and he had 6 different personalities in the last book, just like Julian. Because continuity, why do we need that? That seems so silly, says the author. Tella and Dante were making out all night. This version of Dante, not any of the versions that we saw in the last book. Tella sneaks away from Dante. She comes across her sister Scarlet and the 5-day boyfriend Julian, who works in Caraval. Okay, along with Dante. They're both actors in Caraval. Or are they? It could change at any moment. And Julian's like, hey, we should all go do the next round of Caraval because there's one immediately after. There's a special edition Caraval with gilded pages. Just kidding. It's the Empress Elentine is hosting a special edition of Caraval in Valente, where she lives, so it's going to be in a city, not on the island that Caraval was normally on. So we're just changing the whole of Caraval now to fit into this ham-fisted fucking just doing new shit because no continuity. I hate it. Doing a really good job, Rachel. Really, just keep it up. Tella's supposed to pay back her mysterious friend man by giving him the name of Legend, and Legend is the runner of Caraval, and it's pretty obvious that Legend can only be somebody that we've already been introduced to. So that narrows it down to, I don't know, 2 people. And Tella's like, I need to pay him back by getting him Legend's name, but I also have to ask my friend for another favor. So hopefully mysterious friend can find my missing mother. So that's a new plot line. Yay! And this friend sent her a letter with a fated coin in it. Fated, not faded, fated. Dante somehow gets a hold of this coin and tells Tella, oh, the fates can use this coin to track you, which of course she didn't know that, and Dante has to show up every other scene in order to explain everything to her because she knows nothing, because her and her sister are as aloof as fucking goldfish. Tella sees the Count, the guy who her sister was engaged to, and on the last Caraval was told by their dad to like go assault Scarlet. And Donatella's like, what the fuck? I know you were engaged to my sister. And Julian shows up and is like, hey, that's actually not the Count I knew the whole time he was an actor. Please don't tell Scarlet. I'm trying to make this relationship work, come on! Which is so skeezy and disgusting. And Tella's like, fine, I'll keep your secret that you did a terrible fucking thing if you tell me Legend's name. And he's like, obviously I cannot do that, you fucking idiot, I work for him. And a little more. Not sexual, sorry. And he sends Donatella to a fortune teller named Nigel. He's like, he'll give you some clues. I don't know how, like, having read this entire book, I'm sitting here thinking, like, how did they set this up? Did Legend tell Julian if Donatella starts asking questions, send her to Nigel? Is that what happened? I don't fucking know. And Nigel's like, you can win Legend's name in the next round of Caraval. And Donatella's like, fuck, I really did not want to play that game. Which honestly, me fucking either. If Donatella were actually smart, she would concoct a scheme, an elaborate scheme, and instead of it resulting in her planned suicide to manipulate her sister like last time, she could concoct an elaborate scheme resulting in Legend or someone else revealing Legend's name. But instead, she's stupid and relies on everyone to lie to her, especially Dante, for 300 fucking pages. In exchange for telling her, hey, you can win Legend's name as the prize of Caraval, Nigel, which is not a hint to his name, Nigel takes 4 days of rest from her immediately. This is a common shortcut that Garber likes to rely upon. Main character gets tricked into, not even just main character, no. Character gets tricked into doing something that renders them asleep or frozen or in a coma for a long period of time. It happens in this book with Donatella. It happened in the last book with Scarlet, her sister. It happens in the follow-up series with Evangeline and Jax and Evangeline's husband. What is Garber's obsession with this terrible idea, and what will make it stop? After she wakes up, she tells her sister, by the way, Dante is a terrible kisser, and Dante overhears this because he's sneaking around all the time. Isn't that really suspicious? Oh dear. They get to Valenda, I don't know, the place where the Empress lives, so like the capital, the big leagues. I don't know. They get there and she gets in a carriage with a guy who's really hot, a blonde guy who's an asshole, and he eats a lot of apples. I hate this man. He is about to come up a lot. So Tella is in it's Valenda. She goes to the castle. Everybody's supposed to meet there. Scarlet's already there. They're supposed to talk to the Empress. They're supposed to get ready for Caraval. She gets there late and she's not on the guest list. And she's like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be here. My sister's there. And the guards won't let her in. And who should show up? Dante again. And he's like, oh, she's the heir's fiance, the heir to the throne of Valenda, the heir to the Empress, which gets her into the castle. I don't know. So she gets to stay in a room in the fucking castle, and then she receives a package, and it's a fucking dress. Of course it is, because there's 1.5 million fucking dresses in this book, again, to just stuff into the plot holes. And there's a note attached, and it's the mysterious heir, and he's like, oh, hi, fiance. I guess since we're fucking engaged now, you can wear this to the opening ball. Now, if at this point, if I were Donatella, and one of my brain cells magically kicked into gear, I would then go out of my fucking way to avoid the mysterious heir so I could keep my room at the castle. This is a flimsy plan, but it's better than the one Donatella has. And I would just keep up the idea that I'm the heir until I get fucking kicked out. All I need to do is have a place to stay until I fucking figure out Caraval. I can do that. He doesn't know what I look like. I don't know So he's looking like, I can do this. But no, she's stupid as hell. He's like, wear this dress, fiance, to the opening ball. And she's like, fuck, I guess I gotta do exactly what this stranger tells me to. Okay, sure, that's idiotic. She goes to the opening ball for Caraval, and Dante's there again. And he's like, by the way, how dare you call me a bad kisser? And there's like supposed to be tension between them, but it's really childish. And she's like, you mean nothing to me. And he tries to pull her away from being seen by a certain person after some dude tells them that Caraval, some dude that works for Caraval as an actor along with Dante, I forget his name, is like, by the way, the fates have been released for this game. And you're like, who are those again? I don't fucking remember.
Everybody's so creative.
Because I don't know anything about this. This was never introduced in the last book, but okay. So Dante's trying to keep Donatello away from seeing somebody, and it turns out that it's the dude, the hot dude that she saw in the carriage, the one who eats a lot of apples and is mean. He's on meanie pants. Turns out he's the heir. Also, his name is Jax, which you might recall from my video on Once Upon a Broken Heart, Kill Me. And also, Jax calls himself a friend. As in, not only is this man mysterious carriage guy and the mysterious heir, he's also her mysterious pen pal friend. He dances with Donatella and he's like, so did you bring me Legend's name or not? And she's like, no, I did not do that. I did not do that at all because I'm terrible and I don't make good plans. And he's like, okay, you're gonna get me Legend's name and you're also going to pretend to be my fiance since you've set this up so nicely for me, because he's not actually related to the Empress. He just weaseled his way into being the heir. And all of Jack's previous fiancés have not survived being engaged to him. He's like, you need to make this fake relationship look real. Also, I know where your mother is. So in order to make their fake relationship look real, Tella kisses Jax, right? And then she feels ill, but not in a, hey, this man is disgusting and not hot way, but in a, she realizes that she feels like death and that Jax is actually the Prince of Hearts, of fate, one of the fates. And his kiss kills any girl that is not his one true love. Okay, that little last part will be important later. Okay, so let's recap that again. Mysterious carriage guy is also mysterious heir guy and also mysterious pen pal guy. Stephanie Garber loves to twist things and make people not be who they were 10 pages ago, and here she just did it all at once for Jax. It's great, but he's also a fate. Great! He's like, I wanted you to win Caraval so that you would bring Legend to me. Also, I have your mother. She's trapped in this card. And this is like a common thing where the fates got trapped in the cards and like fates can trap other people in the cards. I don't know. It's all convoluted and stupid, and you can tell that this was just slapped together with spit and a dry glue stick.
Everybody's so creative.
Then the first clue of Caraval falls from the fucking sky. Great. Good. Fantastic. Wow.
Everybody's so creative.
Scarlet and Donatella are talking as sisters, just sistering it up. And they're like talking about Julian, talking about Jax, and Scarlet's mad because Julian lied to her, which happened the entire last book, so I don't know how this is news to her. And he doesn't lie for any reason that like actually makes sense. It's because the author cannot commit to any line that she writes and retcons everything to make it a twist. But it's not a twist, you just lied. By the end, nothing makes any sense because these twists, they contradict each other. So the first clue is go look for a church, and somehow, magically, but not magically at all, Donatella, with no brain cells to speak of, realizes that of all of the deities that these people worship, she's like, I need to go to the Church of Legend, because apparently Legend has people worshiping him. Okay, sure, that could have been cool to know in the last book, but no, we could have had a cult. Why didn't we take the cult option? And of course, who should show up? Dante. It's always gonna be Dante. He shows up and he gives her these pair of gloves that have like spiky things to keep her safe, which just give her a fucking gun. Aren't there guns? Who knows? And every single conversation that Donatella has with the very few leading men, be it Dante or Julian or Jax, she's always thinking in her head, he could be Legend. It could be him. It could be. There's only 3 possibilities, and one of them's looking pretty fucking likely, sister. But especially Dante. She's always thinking it's Dante. She's like, here's all the hints, but if it's him, then XYZ, and that means XYZ. And I'm like, okay, I mean, you're just gonna contradict this later, so like, who fucking cares? And she thinks, but if Dante's Legend, then he's betraying me. And I'm sitting here thinking, ma'am, you concocted an elaborate scheme that included you killing yourself to manipulate your own sister into doing what you thought was best. I hope everyone betrays you. Okay, so apparently the goal for this round of Caraval is to find something that will destroy the fates. In the church, an actor named Armando tells Donatella that the next clue can be found by going down this passageway that he opens for her. And he's like, okay, stop when you hear something. So she goes down this passageway and she stops when she finds a door, and behind that door is Scarlett and Julian, like a secret door, and they're arguing on the other side of that door. Great. Definitely things that I care about. Caraval, more like don't care at all. And in this conversation, she hears, okay, that Julian is Legend's brother. Okay? Okay. This is, you would think she would tuck that in and then use context clues to figure that shit out. Yeah? No, she won't be doing that. That will not be done. And she's like, maybe this is what I was supposed to hear. Maybe so. Because there was nothing else other than Scarlett telling Julian, I don't think I can trust you. Do you think that was the clue? You think that was the clue? Come on. So the next clue is she has to go find the woman of parchment and ink. She runs into Aiko, the person who like is the Caraval historian who like makes all these drawings of Caraval's past and present, right? And Aiko's like, I'll answer one of your questions for free. And of course, because Donatella is a fucking idiot, she accidentally wastes her first question. She then sees a poster with her mom on it, and it says that the woman's name is Paradise the Lost, who was a thief. And so then Aiko says, I'll give you more information in exchange for a memory of your mother. So Donatella loses a memory where her mom's talking about how the cards are dangerous and that the fates trap humans in the cards. But like, she's gonna watch a play in a second where she learns about the fact that the fates get trapped in the cards, and also she was already told that her mom gets trapped in the card, so like, doesn't she already know that the cards are dangerous? Like, who fucking cares that she lost that memory? But it's made like a huge deal. It's a huge deal that she lost this memory. And Aiko tells her that Paradise was an adventurer and a thief, and she stole this deck of cards. And the cards contained the fates, and she wanted to destroy the deck, so she left her daughters behind in order to keep them safe from the deck of fates. And the clue, the third clue, is on the back of the poster of her mom. Tella finds out that Scarlett went to Jack's castle to talk to him. Jack's castle's name is Idlewild. Okay. On her way there, she runs into 3 old women who are like saying weird and shitty things to her. And so she takes a swipe at one of them, and instead of blood, outpours smoke from this woman, and she's like, oh my god, they're fates, oh shit, and they're somehow like free of the deck. But like, didn't that guy earlier tell her and Dante that the fates were getting freed for Caraval? Hello? And the fates are like, bring us the deck. She runs away from them into a fucking river, and who should find her? Again? Dante, who always seems to be everywhere. How very, very curious. Perhaps she asks him a shit ton of questions, they talk, they make out a little, and in her own head, she says, after asking questions about Legend, perhaps he was Legend and just liked to talk about himself, but Tella assumed Legend had better things to do on the first night of Caraval than torment her. Incorrect. Your first assumption was correct. You dumb bitch. Okay, so then she hears Julian and Dante talking. Dante calls Julian his brother. I'm gonna let that sink in. Earlier, we heard that Julian said, Legend is my brother, and Dante is now saying, Julian is my brother. All signs now point to it's Dante, and yet somehow, Donatella is still so fucking stupid that she does not come to this conclusion definitively. In fact, she still thinks along the ways of this book, Julian could be Legend, Dante could be Legend, but he would be betraying me, and I don't know, maybe Jax could be Legend. She thinks to herself, Jax could be Legend, Donatella? Jax could... Why would Jax be Legend, but also send you after his own name?
Everybody's so creative.
Why would Jax be Legend, Donatella? That doesn't make any sense. No brain cells. Not a single one in sight. Donatella gets hurt. She ends up with Jax and Scarlett, and Jax is like, oh, she fell, hit her head from a carriage fall. And Scarlett's like, oh, and fawning over him, just thinks he's adorable. And then when Jax leaves, she's like, Donatella, I don't trust that fucking man. This is the one singular time that Scarlett Dragna in entirely 2 books has ever shown to even have a half of a brain cell. But what does Tella do? Go on to think, I want to tell Scarlett everything, but I can't. And Scarlett is miffed because Donatella won't tell her everything. Tella thinks to herself, I do believe that Julian and Dante are brothers. Ma'am? Hello? Empress Elentine, who is basically irrelevant, is quite old and has Jax for an heir, the poor thing. Hosts a dinner party. Tella goes as Jax's fiance, obviously, because they have to keep playing along. And Elentine tells Donatella that her ring that she's wearing, which was Donatella's and Scarlet's mom's ring, this opal ring, is the key to the Temple of Stars. Then they watch Caraval actors put on a play that depicts Jax, but not Jax, the Prince of Hearts, Jack of Hearts, trapping humans in a deck of destiny. So this now shows Donatella that the deck is dangerous. Thus, she does not need that memory of her mom telling her so. And seeing this, she turns to Jax and she's like, what's your goal in this round of the game? And he's like, I'm going to find out who Legend is, drink his blood, and gain power. And she's like, I think he's going to use this power to release all the fates from the deck of destiny. Why would he do this? Why would he care about the other fates? I don't fucking know. We don't know. We don't know anything because there's no lore here. Knowing that her ring is a key to the Temple of Stars, she goes and the next day, and who should show up again, time and time again? It's Dante, our old pal. At this point, she has wondered a million times if he's Legend. She has all the clues that he is clearly Legend, and she still is asking herself, is this man Legend? A dude at the Temple of Stars named Theron says, yes, I will answer your questions, ma'am, in exchange for a drop of your blood. Dante's like, don't do that. She does it anyway. She's really stupid. And Theron, who also has one of those odd rings, says, by the way, Paradise owes me a debt, and in order to use the key, you have to pay it. Tella sees a vision of her mom who agreed to give up her second child, Donatella, in exchange for hiding the deck in these vaults. Jax then tells Donatella, by the way, you need to win the game and get the deck, otherwise everybody who's in the cards trapped is gonna die. She hears from Empress Elentine, who's like, hey, by the way, I think Paradise the Lost is your mother and I want to help you. It's also very obvious that Empress Elentine does not trust Jax, and it turns out that Empress Elentine has been taking tonics from Legend in order to like appear younger and healthier than she is. I forgot to tell you a key component to this book. The entire book, because she kissed Jax, Donatella has been slowly dying, and she knows this because her heartbeat is starting to stop and start again. So randomly the text will say beat nothing, 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 beat nothing, beat nothing, nothing. It's really stupid. And this is because she kissed Jax, and he can only kiss his true love. If he kisses anybody else, they will die, okay? In the end, she realizes that Jack's heart is beating while he's around her, and his heart is not supposed to beat. And she's like, oh my God, I'm your true love.
Everybody's so creative.
Wait. Then why were you slowly dying throughout this entire book? What the fuck? The continuity is not there at all. And I don't understand how anybody can read this and not think, wait, so what was the point of that? Oh, her heart stops beating every other chapter because she's slowly dying. She was never slowly dying because she was always his one true love, right? Why would you retcon that? That's so stupid. You didn't need that. You could just say, oh my God, I kissed him, therefore I'm probably dying. You didn't need to also do the heartbeat thing only to say, by the way, that was nothing because she's his true love the whole time. What? Someone who works at the palace or some shit tells her, oh, by the way, Empress Elentine's long lost child, the lost child, has finally come. She goes to the vaults, and then somehow she figures out that Dante has made a sacrifice, and she doesn't know what the sacrifice is at the time, like what he's done to help her out. She gets the deck, she wins Caraval, and when you win Caraval, the deal was that the next person you see is Legend. And she closes her eyes, and she hears Dante, and she's like, if I open my eyes, I'm gonna see Legend. And he's like, okay, then open your eyes. And it's him. Of course it's him. We've known this whole time. How is it a secret to Donatella when it's so blatantly obvious? He said, Julian is my brother. Julian said, Legend is my brother. Therefore, unless there is a third brother, Legend is Dante. Duh. But it also turns out that Dante and Legend are the lost heir. So the Empress has somehow been getting potions to keep herself looking young from her own child? Or is he impersonating them? I don't know. I guess that's for the next book. But either way, this is so stupid. Every person is 6 other different people. Donatella's mom is in a coma, by the way. Because of course. Because every person ends up in a coma in this world I don't understand. There's nothing that keeps me reading this that I like about it. In the end, I just feel furious. Especially when I've had to read these sentences in between finding out that I've been retconned yet again. I have to read sentences like this. Here, I'll read it for you. I made a note of this very specifically. The air tasted like wonder and like candied butterfly wings caught in sugared spider webs and drunken peaches coated in luck.
Everybody's so creative.
The air tasted like wonder? What? It also tasted like candied butterfly wings? What? And drunken peaches coated in luck? Huh? How can the air taste like all of that? I don't think of most of those things don't have a taste. It's just words. Like she's just like keyboard smash, keyboard smash, keyboard smash, and then book. Why? This is so annoying. I want to like this so bad and it's so stupid, frustrating, exhausting. Again, if you're exhausted too, be sure to check out Magic Mind. The link is in my bio and in the pinned comment. Use my code if you're as exhausted as I am right now. This is so annoying. Everything about this is so, because I want to like it so bad. And so I'm like picking it apart, looking for things to like about it. And instead I'm just finding more things that make me furious. No other book series makes me this mad because every single thing feels so pointless and it just starts to feel like my time is being wasted on purpose. Like out there is a group of people who led to this being published and they're laughing at me because none of it makes sense and I'm trying to make it make sense. Anyways, so you can see why I never continued past Legendary when I read it in 2018. But now that I have an audience who can listen to me yell and scream and is happy to do that, I'm doing that. So yes, I will continue. I will finally read Finale. I know some of what happens because I've also read books 1 and 2 in the sequel series, which book 1 review is already up, and then The Ballad of Never After, I am putting up a review in August. Oh my god, they are just as bad, but I don't think any book made me as furious as Legendary, very specifically because of that whole, she kissed the Prince of Hearts, she's not his one true love, so therefore she does that beat, loses her heartbeat, beat, loses her heartbeat, oh, and also she just randomly starts bleeding at like random times and Dante's like, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong apparently because it's gonna get retconned and go away magically because she randomly figures out, oh, I've been his one true love this whole time. Why would you, that felt like a personal attack. That felt like a personal attack on my person, on my brain. I was so angry. No book has ever made me that mad. I was so mad. Okay, I'm all done now. Thank you for listening to me scream. I don't like this series. I want to desperately because I have such bad FOMO, but I hate it. That's it. That's all I have to say about Caraval. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, Legendary. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters here. Let me know if you want me to read Finale and scream about that too, or if this was too much. Because everything's stupid. I'm sure the Finale is just as stupid, probably. I mean, I always have like a little bit of hope that, you know, maybe things will, maybe there'll be something that I like. But then every time I try to give another book a chance, it sucks. I keep hoping. Maybe she'll surprise me in Finale. No, that's not gonna happen. Stop it. Okay, let me know your comments and questions down below. Let me know if you read this and were as salty about it as I am, though I don't think anybody is as salty as I am. I am saltier than Lot's wife. Okay, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to. You can join channel memberships if you want, or Patreon for early access. And I will see you next time. Okay, bye.
Everybody's so creative.
Hi, it's me, Trash Can Rachel, and I have to say thank you for being a friend to my Therapy Bills patrons, and those are Alexander, Alicia, Allie Magpie, Amanda M, Ashley B, Bubble Tea, Cami, Chris, Claire, Des Roberts, DJ Rocktopus, Emperor's New Blues, Eric, Faror. I'm working on saying that. Faror, Harley, Jack and Jill, John E, Casey McKenzie, Kate W, Caitlin, Kelly K, Quinn, Lady Kittybug, Lex, Molly, Alice, Peggy Lou, Rain, Reese, Samar, Scarlett, Shiny, and SMK. Thank you all so much for being a friend. And I have to say thank you for being a friend to my Potato Starch Marxist patrons, and those are Amanda B, Andy, Angelica, Anita, Artie the Ninth, Ashley H, Aubrey P, Ava, BB, Beck, Blythe, Bookish Barbie, Bookish Brainrot, Ray, Bree, Brian, Caitlin, Carlin, Cassandra, Catherine, Kathy, Chris, CJ, Cole, Colleen, Corwin, Corey, Darren, Deborah, Diet Goth, Dorian, Dorothea, Ebby, Elise, Ember, Emily A, Emily L, Emma, Aaron, Grace, Grace, Gracie, Hannah-C, Hannah-T, Harpy Kuro, Hello There Darling, Ilyanaka, India Inks, JM Tenet, Jackal All Trades, Jay is on Olympus, JT, Jen with 2 N's, Jennifer T, Jenny G, Jillian, Jules, Kaylee, Kat, Katya, Kayala, Kendra, Kylie, Laughing Cat Dog, Laura, Lauren B, Library of Scars, Lisa, Liz Cardigan, Luna Moth, Lustful Octopus, Martin, Marquita, Maz, Malara, Meow Meow, James, Nat, Natalie, Never, Nicole G, Nicole R, Nyan Binary, Paige E, Paige P, Foxglove, Pixel Stars, Pure Raytheon, Rachel B, Raquel, Rat Sarah, Reba, Rebecca, Ren, Robin, Rosie, Rowan, Other Rowan, Sequoia, Sadie, Samantha, Sammy, Sarah H, Sarah the Bear, Scarlett, Shanae, Shannon, Shayna, Sheena, Sean, Sierra, Stephanie, Talia, 3 Old Dogs, Tina, Toast, Trashcan Teddy, Tito Phoenix, Valentine, and Writer A. Thank you all so much for being a friend.